Hey everybody. So this video is going to be dealing with the myofilaments within the myofibrils of the muscle. So the myofilaments are are central to the muscles for their contraction. And there are two myofilaments, and you may have heard of these already. So we have the thick filaments and we have the thin myofilaments. The thick myofilaments are also known as myosin, and this is the one that looks kind of like a golf club shaped filament. The second one is called actin, and these ones are much thinner, and they are going to bind together in order for a muscle contraction to happen. And you're going to hear about this a little bit more in a minute, but they are really known for the sliding filament theory of muscle contraction, and it has to do with both these myofilaments connecting to one another and then one pulling the other one in a sliding motion. Something really important to keep in mind here is that there is an active site where the myosin is going to bind to the actin. So the active site is located on the actin. That said, if this site is available to bind to, it's going to happen. It's going to bind to it. So there's also going to be times when this site is not available, not open. And that is going to deal with these additional proteins right here. So actin is also going to be dealing with these other two proteins, tropomyosin and troponin. These are going to be regulatory proteins that do exactly that. They regulate how the muscle contraction occurs. So that said, here is an image that I am taking directly off of Crash Course video. So I'm letting you know, this is a Crash Course picture. I did not come up with this myself. So that said, the myosin is going to be the molecules at the bottom, the ones that look like a golf club shape. Actin is the dark purple twisting looking strain here. Now, that said, if you look closely here, you're going to see these dark purple sections. These are the active sites where the myosin will bind to the actin. If you watch the Crash Course video, which I highly recommend, you can see this in full speed, and it helps better understand that. So the problem you can see here is there's this light purple line or pinkish looking color that's going over the active site, which means you cannot connect to it. So with that said, this is going to be the tropomyosin and the troponin, the section here and the section over here. What you're going to see is right here, there is this little darker area, which means something can bind within here. That's going to be calcium, which we're going to talk about in a bit. But the idea here, that just to make sure we understand it, all we're talking about right now in this video is understanding the different myofilaments and the proteins that interact with these myofilaments. We have myosin, the golf club shaped looking protein here. Actin, the dark purple looking bead like shape. And then we have the troponin and tropomyosin right here, which is the light purple shape. So that said, if you have any questions on this section, you can let me know. And I want you to also take a look at this slide here that talks about the different sections of these myofilaments. So you do not need to know specifically the A bands and the I bands and the H bands. But what you do need to know is that each of these muscles are broken down into individual units. All right, these are known as sarcomeres. And these individual units are going to be, as you can see here, comprised of actin and myosin. And when contraction occurs, these units are going to shorten as contraction occurs. And this means that, exactly what I just said, contraction is happening and the muscles are shortening. That said, there are additional videos linked within the slideshow. I highly recommend you watching them. It helps you better understand what's going on when you see animations. So if you have any questions on these myofilaments, please let me know.